So you've got a balanced equation there. They ask you what mass of sodium oxide would be produced if 46 grams of sodium were going to be produced. So were burnt in excess oxygen. So 46, let's first work out a relationship here. We've got a 4:2 relationship, but I have got 46, and I need to change that by looking at sodium and seeing that there's 23. So I need to divide that by 23. I then get 2 as a number, so that means that I'm going to land up with a 1 amount of sodium oxide. If I now take a look at the molar masses of sodium oxide, I've got 23 plus 23 plus 16, so that's going to be 46 plus 16, which is going to be equal to 62. And then, because it's only 1 mole, I'm going to bring that 62 grams down, and I've got 62 grams as my answer. Same reaction, what mass of oxygen is required to react completely with 11,5 grams of sodium? So I'm going to take that 11,5 and I'm going to divide it by the 23 of sodium, and I find that I get 0,5. I'm now going from 4 to 1 if I look at the sodium and the number in front of the oxygen. So it's 0,5 is to 0,125, and whatever number the oxygen is, which is 16 plus 16, I'm going to multiply it by 0,125, and I get 4 grams. I've now got potassium and water. What mass of potassium is required to produce 2 grams of hydrogen? So I've got potassium and hydrogen in a relationship. It's a 2:1 relationship, and they want to produce 2 grams of hydrogen. 2:2, hydrogen is 1. Boink, over there. So 1 plus 1 is 2, H2. And I land up with 1, which means I have got 2 moles of potassium. And now I go to potassium and I see that it is 2 times 39, and that is going to give me 78 grams. Next one, I have got what mass of hydrogen is produced if I've got 56 grams of potassium hydroxide. So the KOH is to the hydrogen as 2:1. I have been told that I've got 56 grams of potassium hydroxide, so that's 56 divided by 39 plus 16 plus 1. So that's going to be 56. Very convenient, and that turns out to be 1. So I've got 1 potassium hydroxide is to what mass of hydrogen is produced. I'm going to end up with 0,5 of whatever hydrogen is. We know that hydrogen is 1 plus 1, and that's 2. So 0,5 of 2, or half of 2, is 1 gram. Now we've got zinc and zinc chloride. And we find that what mass of hydrochloric acid is required to react with a certain amount of zinc. And that is going to be, I've got a 1:2 relationship. I have got 130,8 of grams of zinc. I need to look at the number here on the zinc, and it's 63,4. Sorry, I lie, 65,4. And therefore I land up with exactly 2. So when I'm relating zinc to hydrochloric acid, I have got 2:2. Whatever the hydrochloric acid is, I will have to multiply it by 4. Hydrochloric acid is hydrogen, 1, plus chlorine, 35,5. So it's 36,5 multiplied by the 4, and I land up with 146 grams. Same equation. Question is, what mass of zinc chloride is formed if a certain amount of hydrogen is produced? So the relationship is between zinc chloride and hydrogen, and that's really nice because it's a 1:1 ratio. And I'm able to say I've got 12 grams of hydrogen. 12, hydrogen is H2, so it is divide that by 2, and I land up with 12 over 2 is 6. So I have got a 6 over here with the hydrogen, and the zinc chloride is also going to be 6, but now I need to work out the number for the zinc chloride, and it's going to be 65,4 plus zinc chloride is ZnCl2 plus 35,5 plus 35,5. So I have to double that number. And I land up with 136,4. I now need to multiply that by 6. And I land up with 818,4 grams. Next one, what mass of carbon dioxide is produced from 200 grams of calcium carbonate? So the first thing is to say I am relating carbon dioxide and calcium carbonate. I'm going to go 200 and I'm going to divide it by the calcium carbonate molar mass, which is 40, plus, let's get another color going here, which is 40 plus 12 plus 3 times 16. And I land up with exactly 100, so that is equal to 2. The relationship between calcium carbonate and carbon dioxide is a 1 is to 1 relationship. And therefore, if I've got 2, I will have 2 of carbon dioxide. What is carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is 12 plus 16, which is 40. So I double that. Sorry, it's 44. 12 plus 16 is 44. And therefore, if I double that, because I've got 2, I land up with 88 grams. What mass of sulfuric acid is required to produce 68 grams of calcium sulfate? So let's get a relationship here. Firstly, I've got 68 grams of calcium sulfate, so I go 68 divided by calcium sulfate is going to be 40 plus 32 plus 4 times 16. And I land up with 136. When I divide that, I get 0,5. Now we want a relationship between sulfuric acid and calcium sulfate. And good news, it's a 1:1 ratio. And therefore, if I've got 0,5 of calcium sulfate, it means I've got 0,5 of sulfuric acid. Best I quickly make up some sulfuric acid here, and it's going to be 32 plus 4 times 16 plus 2 times 1, and that turns out to be a very convenient 100. So when I go half of, not 100, it's 98. So the sulfuric acid is 98, and when I multiply that by a half, I land up with 49 grams.